Oh shit, here we go again.
Gillette is back at it, pushing the idea of toxic masculinity. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on Bandit.com, as well as YouTube, we will be taking a look at the video. We're going to break it down, and we're going to find out what exactly is going on through their heads, okay? Because Gillette doesn't seem to learn its lesson. It keeps pushing progressive, culturally Marxist, woke propaganda that's anti-men and anti-you. When they make these anti-men commercials, you know, they're not saying, they're not supporting you. They're actively putting you down, okay? This is a perfect example of how leftism, which usually is indoctrinated into the soft minds of like college and university students, and then they go out in the real world, they join companies like Gillette, and then all of a sudden you see this woke progressive nonsense. Okay, so here it says, Gillette's back with more toxic masculinity. But is it all more of the same? So here the little blurb says, Gillette's, #MeToo, as was arguably the most divisive campaign of 2019. Well, when you imply that all men are bad, yeah, that kind of happens. Lauded as groundbreaking by many, while others went so far as to call for a global boycott of the brand after it was deemed mere man-bashing. Yeah, it is. You're not even beating men at this point. You're like breaking their legs and stomping on their heads. But before we check out why exactly Gillette has lost its mind, a quick word from this week's sponsor.
Zuck the cuck drinks water like a duck, but he also drinks your data. So tell him and Google to shove your data up their schwing-schwangs by downloading the Brave browser. It's free, blocks online advertising, and protects your privacy and data from evil tech companies. You only see ads if you want to see them, and you get cryptocurrency for your attention. Don't let Zuck use you to make a buck. Download Brave by clicking on the link down below.
And we're back. So, Undeterred, the world's biggest razor manufacturer, is back to exploring similar themes in a new spot of the UK called Made of What Matters. The ad stars Manchester City FC player and global ambassador Raheem Sterling, and touches on themes of mateship, racism, and male violence. The bleak spot is the work of Saatchi and Saatchi, with Gillette apparently giving its incumbent creative agency, Grey, a miss on this one. Check out the work below, and we will be watching it. Let's do it.
If someone asks you what you're made of, don't just tell them, show them.
You heard that, folks? Cut yourself open and show them your bits. I'm made of meat.
Show them that you're made of proving the doubters wrong. All the doubters. Every single one of them.
What exactly do you mean by doubters? Like who in your life, who in your privileged UK, European life has ever doubted you? I think he has an inferiority complex. I don't know why. But there's plenty of people on sports teams, plenty of people who can. You just have to be big, strong. That's pretty much it.
Show them, whatever happens, you don't have to raise your fists to beat your enemies. Show them you're stronger when you stand together. And you never leave anyone out on their own. Show them.
So, you don't have to raise your fists to beat your enemies. That's exactly right, folks. If a guy comes up to you and pulls out a knife and says, "Hey, give me your money," right? You just stand together with him, you hold his hand, you sing Kumbaya, you camp, you have s'mores, you talk about your life stories, and you tell him, "Oh, yes, I feel you, brother, I understand what's going on. Why did you turn to crime? Here, I know a guy who knows a guy who can hire you, and, you know, it's a happy ever after. You help the criminal. You know, life isn't a cartoon. Okay, you're not Iroh. Yeah, just let him shank you."
That where you're from is as important as where you end up.
Raheem Sterling has called for players and fans to unite against discrimination. Raheem Sterling has called
is as important as where you end up.
Raheem Sterling has called for players and fans to unite against discrimination and abuse that's overshadowing football, demanding action.
And show them.
So, you can see that this is pretty much full of woke nonsense. They're making the claim that, oh, there's so much discrimination in sports. First of all, no, there's not. Have you seen the sports teams? Come to America, and I'm just gonna Google some statistics. So here on The Guardian, you can see the NFL is 70% black. And of course, this is also a woke article complaining about nonsense, right? This is from 2019. So the fact that the NFL is 70% black means there is not discrimination in sports. In fact, I think that if these are the numbers, and keep in mind that African Americans only make up 13 or so percent of the U.S. population, and yet there's 70% of the football players, that's not discrimination. If anything, that boosts your chances. It means if you're African American, you want to go into sports, you have a better chance than white people, than Asians, than anybody else. How is that not a good thing? How are things not really good in sports? I just find that argument ridiculous. So again, this guy is talking out of his ass, talking about something that doesn't exist. We have equality. We're all equal. And I got to be honest, nobody likes identity politics. It's annoying. It's one thing to say you're an American. I believe in that. It's one thing to say, well, I'm African American. I'm proud. Or I'm Asian and I'm proud. Or I'm white. It's okay for them to have pride too. Right? Like, this is all equal. We're all equal. We all get to have some pride.
Whatever our rivalries, whatever our differences, we stand shoulder to shoulder against all forms of prejudice. So it's got no place to grow.
Again, what exactly are you fighting against? The world's already equal. Yes, we can all stand. And first of all, this whole idea that you must tolerate every single person in the world is nonsense. We don't tolerate a lot of things, okay? Do we tolerate serial killers? No. Do we discriminate against serial killers? Yes. We discriminate all the time. We can discriminate between our country and another country, our culture and another culture. Some people live in the jungle, in tribes, right? And maybe they still do ritual sacrifice, or perhaps they engage in eating human. Who knows? The point is, we can easily say, well, I don't find their culture equal to ours, where we do not do those things anymore. We don't do ritual sacrifice. We don't just kill. We don't engage in that kind of practice. So no, I disagree with the assertion that we're not allowed to discriminate. That is part of being human. It's how you identify your friends from your enemies. Imagine if you could not discriminate. Imagine. Right? Let's say you're in a tribe, you're in a town, and a stranger, an outsider comes in, and he acts friendly, right? But there's something off about them. But you can't discriminate. You can't discriminate when you notice that they're kind of bloody sometimes, and then people go missing. And then before you know it, half the town is dead. There's a reason these things exist, right? Evolution gave us the ability to reason, to identify patterns, and to understand that maybe not everyone is our friend. So I understand that it's not that this is a bad message per se. It's that it's woke nonsense. Because we already, in the West, it's equal. There's equal opportunity. If anything, being a minority is actually a plus. Because we have affirmative action. We have these identity politics. Things are better than ever for a lot of these groups.
Because when we show our best side, we don't just play the game. We change it.
So made of what matters, show your best side, it's a whole big thing. Now I gotta ask a question. I don't know if the little boy was his son, but one observation I can make is that if he believes so much in breaking down barriers, if he truly believes in what he's talking about, you would think that maybe he would be a little bit open-minded to who he dates. I personally don't care. Like, I don't care if a white guy dates an Asian girl, or if an Asian guy dates a white girl. I really don't care. Like, that doesn't matter to me. But this guy, he's gonna preach to us on the TV, on these commercials, and talk about how he's amazing, and how he's standing out against all this prejudice. And yet, he prefers what he prefers. Now, I'm not knocking the guy. We're all allowed to have our preferences. And that's kind of the point now, isn't it? People have preferences, and that's fine. You cannot force people to do things they don't want to do. And that's why a lot of this social justice nonsense fails time and time again. Because it tries to tell you what you should think, how you should behave, and what you should do. Okay, it's more toxic masculinity and social justice politics. Now, you can see this video is massively ratioed. It is 1,600 dislikes and only 90 likes. As of right now, it has 70,000 views, and it's using hashtag MADEOFWHATMATTERS, Gillette, Raheem Sterling, MADEOFWHATMATTERS. And of course, they disabled comments because, they can't allow anyone to speak. Alongside the TVC, Gillette is partnering with youth education charity Football Beyond Borders, FBB, which uses the power of football to support disadvantaged young people in the UK. I hope that they're helping all disadvantaged youths in the UK. Gillette brand manager for the UK and Ireland, Matt Thomas, said the partnership builds on Gillette's commitment to celebrate those who always aspire to be the best version of themselves, and who encourage others to stand up for what they believe in. Yeah, this really just seems like more of, it just seems like more virtue signaling. I've got to be honest. Now, I don't have a problem per se with the commercial, but I do think it's kind of, I think it's nonsense. So, of course, in the comments, you do have people praising this video. I'm not going to praise it, and I don't think people have enjoyed it either. I think people are just sick of Gillette and they're pandering. They sell razors, right? And traditionally, all of their commercials were praising men and masculinity, but instead it's just so negative. It's like, the world's full of mean people and we have to fix it. It's like, it doesn't talk about how good men are or anything. It just talks about, we got to do this, we got to do that. Social justice causes, yada, yada, yada. What is up with that? Like, why do you have to do this? Why can't you just celebrate all men equally, right? What is wrong with that idea? You would make more money. You would sell more razors. You see, once these companies, they go woke, they get corrupted, it's like it's too late. Here it says, for over 115 years, Gillette has helped men to be their best. You've helped men shave. Get over your high horse. I bought a pack of Gillette razors, and I gotta be honest, they suck. They're dull. They don't make shaving easy. So it's not even a high quality product. I mean, come on here. We have a responsibility to use our voice to drive change that matters and a positive vision that helps men of all ages achieve their personal best together. We will show the next generation what it means to be made of what matters. Okay, so what you mean is leftism. What you mean is cultural Marxism, wokeism. You want us to be like you. Now, I don't need to tell you that this commercial is massively disliked by the public and is a huge flop to all but, like the brainwashed, the left-wingers. I'm sure they'll enjoy it, but I don't, okay? I don't like this. I don't like being preached to. I don't like being talked down to, and I don't like social programming and propaganda. So you know what, Gillette? Instead of making these videos about, social justice, why don't you focus on making good razors that don't get dull after like 1 or 2 uses, okay? But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? What do you think about Gillette? Do you think this new commercial's an improvement? Do you think it's trash? What is your response? I'm a little bit iffy on this one. I don't want to be too pessimistic, but I do not like it. And I also don't like the razors. Do you guys or girls know of any good razor brands? Be sure to let me know. Now, as always, if you enjoy the content, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. If you want to show support, you can join for as low as $1. And by joining, you will get access to a private Discord server, and I will be there personally. If you want to donate, you can do so through Bitcoin or BAT tokens. I may add an Ethereum wallet as well if you want to donate that. Or contributions on Subscribestar. And sharing the video is appreciated. I don't know. I feel like Gillette has completely lost its mind. And maybe there's no going back. Maybe they're going to crush the whole company. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious. And I'll see you all next time.